we continue the discussion of the organs of speech. Previous sessions we discussed the two aspects of this particular area of the organs of speech. Say for example, we studied about the organs of speech in the respiratory system, we studied the organs of speech in the phonatory system, and now we come to the most important system of the organs of speech, that is the articulatory system. Articulatory, I'm repeating, it's very important because human beings make a lot of sounds, and all the speech sounds of human beings are modified by the articulators. And we have to understand there are two types of articulators, very important. One is what is known as the active articulator. You can see it here, the active articulator. And the other is the passive articulators. Okay, and the active articulator and the passive articulator have a significant role, a seminal role, very crucial role in making the sound unique. Say, when we say flower, we have f, l, a, so flower. Spring. Strife. Each sounds or each phonemes are unique, like each human beings are unique. And human beings are unique by their appearance. Similarly, speech sounds or phonemes are unique by the sounds, or rather the very voice we hear. And the voice we hear is shaped by, molded by, just made into a peculiar phoneme by the active articulator and the passive articulators. And the active articulators, okay, as well as the passive articulators are so many in number. We have a number of articulators. We will see the most important articulators right now. Before that, we have to understand the fact there is one more very important thing we have to remember. That is, of course, the articulators are known as supraglottal speech organs. That's a very important point. And we may have a question, right? Why are articulators known as supraglottal speech organs? Supraglottal speech organs. Why are articulators known as supraglottal speech organs? Nothing, it's very easy to understand. Articulators are supra because beyond, above, beyond. Supraglottal, glottis, vocal cords, glottis, supraglottal, beyond glottal. Okay, so articulators are known as supraglottal speech organs because articulators, active articulator and the passive articulator, come above the glottis level, above the larynx level, above the jaw position, collarbone, jaw, larynx, above that. So hence we call the articulators, all the articulators, the passive articulator and the active articulator, supraglottal speech organs. That's there. So remember, active articulator and passive articulator. Together they are known as supraglottal speech organs. Now we have to consider, we have to understand, how do we distinguish between active articulator and passive articulator? Remember, active articulators are articulators which move all the time, which take a very significant role in the production of sounds. And when I am speaking, you can just look at me and you can see my lips moving. Yeah, my lower lip is moving. So lower lip is one of the active articulator. Similarly, I can feel the quick movement of my tongue inside my mouth. So tongue is also one of the active articulators. And we can just say that the most significant active articulators are: number one, tongue; Number 2, the lower lip. Lower lip. When I say flower, lower lip is going up. Flower. When I say tiger, tiger, you can also say that. You can see that front of the tongue, the front and the tip of the tongue is just going up to the roof of the palate. So we say that active articulators are articulators which just move all the time, which are just drivers, just driving, of course, the entire process of the speech making. Active articulators. Passive articulators. Who are the passive articulators? Passive articulators are those organs of speech towards which the active articulator is moving. So look at the sound per, pencil, pencil, paper, pencil, paper, potato, pickup. All right, in all this, pen, lower lip is the active articulator. It is going to the upper lip, and upper lip is the passive articulator. Lower lip, active articulator. Upper lip, passive articulator. All right, and air is kept inside, so much of pressure build, quick departure, and you have the plosive sound per. All right. Similarly, okay, we have a number of active articulators. Most important active articulator, lower lip and the tongue. And the passive articulator, upper lip. Number 1, upper lip. Then, of course, we have the upper teeth, and you have teeth ridge. So all these are the articulators, and in the articulatory system, we have a number of articulators. We are just understanding all that with the help of the diagram. So we have the lower lip. It's very important. Lower lip, lower teeth, tongue. And remember, tongue has the tip of the tongue, the blade of the tongue, then the front of the tongue, back of the tongue, root of the tongue. Okay. Then you have the upper teeth here, upper lip here, upper lip. Then you have, this is the teeth ridge. What is the teeth ridge? Teeth ridge is the, you can feel for yourself in your mouth. You just lift your tip of the tongue and take it to the upper teeth. Behind the teeth, you can feel that hard cemented area, very hard fleshy area, like hums there. So that area is in which the teeth is fixed, and that is known as teeth ridge. And teeth ridge is also known as alveolar ridge. Teeth ridge, alveolar ridge. alveolar, alveolar ridge. So teeth ridge, what is teeth ridge? Teeth ridge is this particular hard area, teeth ridge, and the teeth is fixed here, the upper teeth is fixed here. Okay, and now you have this is the roof of the mouth, okay, and this front part here, you have the middle, the center of the roof of the mouth here. So till this is in fact what is known as hard palate is this area, hard palate. And this area, feel for yourself in your mouth, just lift your tongue and just touch your roof of the mouth. You can see that fleshy, loose, hanging, soft area, and that fleshy, soft, just hanging area is known as soft palate. What is it known as? Soft palate. So hard palate is known as alveolar ridge. It is also known as alveolar. Similarly, soft palate is known as velum. What is it known as? Velum. And at the extreme bottom of the soft palate, extreme bottom, this is the roof of, entire part is the roof of the mouth. You have the upper teeth, upper lip, teeth ridge, hard palate, okay, soft palate, and the extreme bottom. Extreme bottom is known as uvula. In Malayalam it is known as unnak, uvula. That small little portion just hanging down, that is uvula. So you have the roof of the mouth, then you have the soft palate. Soft palate is also known as velum, V-E-L-U-M, velum. And because the velum or the soft palate is involved in the production of some sounds, we have what is called velar sounds. Velar sounds. So remember, you have the nasal cavity, you have the nostril, you have of course the teeth ridge, you have the upper lip, you have upper teeth, you have the tongue, different parts of the tongue, tip of the tongue, you have the blade of the tongue. Blade of the tongue is the edge or the brink of the tongue. Then you have the front of the tongue, back of the tongue, root of the tongue. Then we come to, of course, the hard palate, soft palate, uvula. This is this open area, okay, where you have the coming together or confluence of the oral cavity or the mouth cavity and the nasal cavity. Nasal cavity come here, oral cavity come here, together. Confluence of the nasal cavity and the oral cavity, that is known as pharynx, P-H-A-R-Y-N-X, pharynx. And extreme end of the root of the mouth, you have a little projected area, it's known as epiglottis. Epiglottis will just go back and close the opening, that is of course going down, one to the foot pipe, the other to the windpipe, that is of course to the lungs. One to of course stomach, the other to lungs. And epiglottis is of course doing the function of a valve, very important role. And now we just come to of course another very important fact you have to remember. There are three types of sounds which are of course very important for us. Oral sounds. What are oral sounds? Oral sounds are sounds produced through the oral cavity or mouth cavity. Air comes through the mouth and such sounds are known as oral sounds. Okay, so in the production of oral sounds like p, similarly like b, t, d, etc., air comes through the larynx, comes to the pharynx, and the air is going through the mouth cavity. So there is a question, won't air go this way? Air won't go this way because you have the closure, the uvula functions then. It is very active and it is closing the nasal cavity, and now that the nasal cavity is closed, air can go this way only through the oral cavity and oral sounds are produced. Sometimes the mouth cavity or oral cavity is closed and air will come this way, larynx, pharynx, and it will be here, but lips are shut, or rather the tongue and the teeth ridge is shut. Air has to come nasal to the nasal cavity. Such sounds are known as nasal sounds. Say for example, p is a oral sound. But when you say my, mine, mango, meat, mean, men, alright, in all that you can see is a nasal sound because that sound is produced to the nostrils, Another nasal sound is now. Now, never. The closure is between the front of the tongue and the roof of the mouth. Never. Nil, no, neat, noon. Alright. Okay. So oral sounds go through the mouth. Nasal sounds come to the nostrils. And there are some sounds, a third category. So oral sounds clear, nasal sounds clear, and now the nasalized sounds. Some sounds in the production of which the air goes through both the oral cavity and the nasal cavity, and such sounds are known as nasalized sounds. Say for example, when you have the alveolar sound t, immediately followed by a nasal n, like in mutton, button. Alright, you have what is called nasalized sound. Sound that goes through the air goes through the oral cavity and the nasal cavity. Similarly, the alveolar d, like in d, driver, d, that d immediately followed by nasal n, alveolar n. You have examples like garden, d, n, ga, g, a, d, n, garden. That n is nasalized. Warden. The warden of my college is very friendly. Yeah. Warden. Then. And such sounds are known as nasalized sounds. So we studied almost everything about the last organs in the articulatory system, the organs in the articulatory system. Active articulators are known as supraglottal speech organs. Active articulator, passive articulator. You have, of course, right, the important uh, articulators like the lower lip, upper lip, okay. Then you have the tongue. Then you have, of course, the nasal cavity, oral cavity, hard palate, soft palate, uvula, pharynx, epiglottis. All right, back of the tongue, front of the tongue, blade of the tongue, lower lip. Everything is clear. And now we will have to go more, of course, into the discussion of all these things. But before that, we have to understand one more thing. I will just stop the class by introducing another area. So the speech sounds, like we have 44 speech sounds in English, like 20 vowel sounds, e, a, consonant sounds 24, p, b, t, d, k, g, f, w, f, j, s, sh, h, m, n, l, y, w. Likewise, we have, of course, total 44, 20 vowels, 24 consonants. And these consonants and vowels are further divided. So the division of consonant sounds and vowel sounds are done in two ways. One is based on the place of articulation. Where do the active articulator and passive articulator come to a contact? Next is, of course, how are they produced? So, b, what is b? B is a bilabial sound. Why? Both the lips are, lower lip is the active articulator, upper lip is the passive articulator. But what is the manner? Yeah, it is a plosive sound. Based on the place, it is bilabial. Based on the manner, it is a plosive sound. And such things we will discuss in the next session. That is, of course, classification of speech sound. That is the next topic, and we will discuss all that later. So remember all these things. Just look at the diagram, listen to me, and learn all these things. Very, very basic principles and fundamental ideas of the speech mechanism and organs of speech. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you.